الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية أمير المؤمنين وأولاد المعصومين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إلهنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الوداد المهديين اللهم كن وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا حافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا معينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها كثيرا صلوات الله Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. What we want to discuss, inshallah, over the next few nights is a topic of faith, Iman. And what does it mean to have Iman and have faith? And what does the actual word faith and Iman in itself mean? If you do not have faith, if you do not have Iman, then you live an existence that is empty. Even in the English language, we see sometimes when you write a letter, at the end you put yours faithfully. That you have a faith that something will be done with this letter. Or we say sometimes, I trust you in faith or in goodwill. This is because the word faith over the years has been prolonged and sort of been introduced into society as something that is goodness behind it. And in Islam we see the word faith, Iman, mentioned many times in the Quran and also in our Imams. And if we look at the pure example of faith, it was none other than Ali ibn Abi Talib. Therefore he was given the title of Amir al-Mu'minin by the Holy Prophet, and no one else had this title bestowed upon them by the Prophet, and anybody else who pretended that they were the commander of the faithful and they were Amir al-Mu'minin were truly the enemies of Amir al-Mu'minin. We have 4 usul in our religion. That's our religion is comprised of these 4 things. The first being the wahdaniyat of Allah, that believing that there is only one God, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second is the prophethood, the nubuwwah or the risalat of our holy prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Thirdly, we have the vilayat of Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib and his holy children. Fourthly, which is the most important in the sense that it's the one that is left out, last but not least, is Qiyamah. And this is the one that slips everyone's mind. Qiyamah and believing in judgment or a day of judgment or believing in a court of judgment is the one that a lot of people choose to ignore because they think that they will escape it. But just like we read now in Dua Kumayl, Amir al-Mu'minin says, وَلَا يُمْكِنُ الْفِرَارُ مِنْ حُكُومَتِكَ. There is no escaping your court and your judgment. All of the other things, the first 3 for instance, and inshallah we will try to discuss on each one of them just lightly. The first one, for instance, believing that there is one God, also a lot of people find this a bit difficult to believe, and that even the existence of God, a lot of people find difficult to believe and comprehend. But as Muslims, and as Shias in particular, the issue of the prophethood, and in particular the vilayat of Amir al-Mu'minin, is something that, as Shias, for us, it is now, there's no reason even to discuss it. Because it's like the sun in the day, it is very obvious that Amir al-Mu'mineen was a true successor of the Holy Prophet.
Subhanallah.
But the issue of Qiyamah, sometimes we will not realize what it is until that point where they put us in the grave. Where even your dearest, your nearest, the beloved, your children, your wife, or your husband, if you're a woman, has passed away, will walk away from the grave. That is then when you are left alone with your deeds. And none can come to your rescue but your deeds. It is only then that that belief, that faith, that iman in Qiyamah will come to light. And it's truly amazing. I mean, if you ever study the issue of Qiyamah and look at what happens there, the courts that are set up. In some traditions they say there are 50 courts, 50 stations, and in each one they can keep you for 50,000 years. To our minds, comprehending that is a bit difficult. You think 50,000 years? But when Allah says in the Quran that one day of yours is like 1,000 years, then this is nothing that's difficult. Or if you look at, like for instance, this distance between the earth and the sun or the moon, they call it light years. Yet if you want to travel it, it is possible, but in terms of measuring the distance, it is light years. So when they say 50,000 years, it's not something that is incredible, something that can happen very easily. And even when they say on the Day of Judgment, when some people are raised from the graves, they will say it was as if we only died yesterday, yet they were in the graves for thousands of years. So time limit is only on this earth. Time is only limited to this earth that we are living in. So how will we cope with the Day of Judgment? And it is the iman in the Day of Judgment that all our prophets, that all our imams had, that made them who they were. If they did not have the iman in Allah, they did not have the faith in the Prophet, they did not have the faith in the Wilayat, and they did not have the faith in Qiyamah, therefore they would be just like every single other person. Even Iblis, who is a sworn enemy of the humankind, even he has faith in Qiyamah. And really, truly, when sometimes you study the other side, the hereafter, and what goes on there, and how precise the accounting of Allah is on the other side, is even better than an HMRC tax inspector. You know, the accounting on the other side is phenomenal. And we have been warned about it in the Quran. In Surah Luqman, for instance, Luqman tells his son that if you do any good deed, and it is the size of a mustard seed, that good deed, and it is hidden in a stone, amongst all the stones on this earth, yet Allah on the Day of Judgment will bring that to you safely. Or it is hidden in all the depths of the ground or in the skies, yet it is safe with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on the flip side, whatever bad deeds you do, no matter how small or how great, it will be given back to you on the Day of Judgment. And when you sometimes think about heaven or hell, Allah says in Surah Al-Zilzal, for instance, that your deeds will be shown to you. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. You will see all these deeds, the smallest and the greatest. But how would they be shown, and how would they be given back to us? Again in the Quran, Allah says that when you will see the rizq that Allah gives you in the heavens, you will say, we've seen these rizq before. Where have we seen them before? In this earth. Because we sometimes, the rizq that Allah gives us, we are seeing it here in this earth. But what about the bad deeds? How would that be shown to you? The hellfire in itself is not supplied with gas. A pipe is not connected to the Siberian gas field, and the gas does not come from Russia. But the fuel for hell is the people itself. Again in the Quran we see this, that when Allah talks about the wife of Abu Lahab, what does he say? حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ. She is the carrier of the wood that she's going to be burnt with.